Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're tuning in from. I'm just going to wait a couple seconds for some viewers to join in. Welcome to today's live stream. This is part of the Find Your Fit School Spotlight series. And we are so excited about today's guest. We're going to be talking with Stephen Mitchell from Broward College. So welcome, Stephen. Thank you for joining us today. How are you?
I'm well, Mackenzie. Thank you so much for having me today. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone out there.
Yeah, we have people from all over the world who are going to be watching this today or in the future. So students, as you're joining in, please note that this live stream will be recorded. So if you need to jump out for whatever reason, you'll be able to find the full session on both our Facebook and our YouTube channel. So yeah, Stephen, that's a beautiful background. I'm assuming that's Broward College's campus.
That is one of our campuses. We have three main campuses in South Florida, and this is the central campus where the International Student Services Office, or ISSO, as we call ourselves, is located. So yes, that's the picture of the central campus right behind me, or a portion of the central campus. Of course, it's bigger than this.
It's beautiful. And you mentioned you have three campuses across South Florida. So where
Yes.
are those
We are
campuses?
located in sunny South Florida, just north of Miami. So Fort Lauderdale is the closest big city and international airport. So three international airports in the area, actually: Fort Lauderdale, Miami, and then Palm Beach to the north of us. We have a campus that's a little further north called our North Campus, which is in Coconut Creek, Florida. The central campus, where this is located, this picture is located, is in Davie. And then our south campus is in Pembroke Pines. It's right next to Perry Airport. So that's also where our aviation program is located.
Okay, very cool. So is there one specific campus where most of the students go, or is it one of those things where you have some classes on one campus, some classes on another? How does that work?
That's a great question. Oh, I forgot to mention there we have some satellite campuses as well. So we have our downtown Fort Lauderdale campus. We have our Miramar West campus, which we also share with Florida International University. The central campus, actually, also where you can see me, at Florida Atlantic University has their southern campus located on our central campus. So we kind of share two of our campuses with two local universities, Florida International and Florida Atlantic. But as far as how students take their classes, once they're admitted, they can take classes at any location they want. There are some classes that are area specific. So, for example, architecture classes, for example, are mainly downtown in Fort Lauderdale. Aviation classes, of course, are at the South Campus near the airport. Some of the health sciences classes may be located at one campus rather versus another. But for the most part, all of the other general education classes and most of our majors, general majors like business, engineering, things like that, you can do those at any campus.
Okay, cool. That's awesome that you have that flexibility and you can kind of jump around. I know a lot of students have family in Florida typically. So it's good to know that there's a little bit of flexibility with the location.
Yeah.
But I love South Florida. I've obviously been so many times, and I'm based in Cancun, so South Florida is,
There you go.
just
Hop, skip, and a jump.
Yep, exactly. That's what I was going to say, but I couldn't remember the order of the phrase. I'm glad you said it for me. Oh, that's awesome. So, being that you guys do have such an attractive location, I mean, the weather's great. There's Miami, Fort Lauderdale, all those fun places close by. So what sort of activities do your international students tend to get involved in, either on campus or close to campus? What are the big attractions?
Of course, there's so much to do in South Florida. You have the advantage of the campuses, and even though we have over 63,000 students, because we're spread out over different campuses and centers, you still kind of get that small college feel. So you get a sense of community and of understanding who your classmates are and who your fellow Broward College attendees are. And so each campus kind of has its own flavor. There's always activities going on all of our campuses. Even during COVID, we had both on campus and off-campus virtual activities. Of course, hopefully now COVID is starting to wane, so we're starting to have more activities. In fact, I ran into an on-campus activity just the other day. So And a lot of our activities involve food, of course, because food is always good. But then we have hundreds of different clubs. We have gyms at all three of the campuses. There's a library at all three of the main campuses. And of course, you have the beaches close by. We have our own recreation center at Tiger Tail Lake, which is in the Dania area. So that's like a whole area. We have there's a water course, there's a ropes course, there's a what do you call it? What's the thing with the wire?
Oh, zip line.
Zip line, yeah, zip line. So
Oh,
yeah,
so
yeah,
fun.
all kind of stuff at that place. So
And
there's
students
always
have access to that. They
yes,
can just
students have
go
access to
and
that. Yes, yes. There might be a
yeah.
charge for some things, and it's of course discounted for students with their student ID card. But yeah, and then of course we have sports teams like the famous Miami Heat basketball team. We have the Dolphins football team. So there's always something to do in South Florida, and of course, many places to eat, great restaurants. No matter what cuisine you're looking for, from what country you're looking for, you can always find your home cuisine here, so you can make yourself feel a little bit more at home. And of
Yeah.
course, the American flavor restaurants as well are located
Yeah,
here.
I think that's a huge benefit of South Florida. It's such an international hub. There are people from all over who live in South Florida. So, I think it's one of those places where students can feel a little less homesick
Right.
because a lot of that comes from the food. You miss your mom's cooking or you miss those flavors from home. And definitely in a place like Florida, you can find, a restaurant with any type of cuisine almost.
Exactly. Whether it's Caribbean, whether it's Indian, Vietnamese, Brazilian, Argentinian, you name it, we have it. So yeah,
Oh,
we have it all
that's
here.
That's awesome. So, kind of leading into my next question, can you tell me a little bit about your international student population? What does that
Sure.
look
Yeah, well,
like at
that's
Broward?
rapidly expanding. We had pre-pandemic, we had over 700 international F1 visa students. Due to COVID, of course, we're down to about 500 now. But now that borders are starting to open back up, we're seeing a rapid expansion. So we hope to get back up to that 700 and beyond number very soon. We have students from all over the world. So obviously, some of the countries that are a little bit closer are where we have more students. So we have a lot of students from Venezuela, Colombia, Brazil, uh, the Caribbean countries, Haiti, Jamaica, Bahamas, Trinidad. We have Peru, but we have students from. We actually have an international center in Vietnam, so we have a lot of Vietnamese
Mhm.
students. We have students from India, China, Spain, Israel. So you pretty much
Wow.
name the country, we have at least one or two students from one of those countries.
That's awesome.
I'm
And
always interested in more. Any country we don't have, come on and be the first.
uh-huh, exactly. I know that's such a good mindset to have. And I always tell students, look for schools that think that way, like we want everyone to feel comfortable here. Um, So speaking of, the international students that come on campus, they come from all over. So I'm assuming they're looking for different things. So what types of programs do international students tend to opt into at Broward? What majors are popular?
It varies. So, of course, we have the most popular programs that a lot of students are looking for, whether it be business, accounting. Of course, all of our STEM programs are available: science, technology, engineering, and math. So we have pre-med students. We have science majors, engineering majors. Of course, we have the aviation program where you can do either pilot technology, so you can learn how to become a pilot, or you can do aviation maintenance, where you learn how to work on aircraft, or aviation management, where you can learn how to be a manager in the airport operations systems. Um, we also specialize in supply chain management, which of course is very big right
That is a hot topic right
now.
now. Geez.
And our supply chain program, you can actually go directly from an associate program into our bachelor program. That's one of the bachelor programs that we have as well. So
Nice.
the and our students are doing very well when they graduate from that program. They're graduating with extremely high salaries from the supply chain management program.
I'm sure.
Environmental science, which of course is also a big program right now. So we have both an associate and a bachelor's program in that. Nursing and all of our health sciences programs. So we have a lot of students interested in nursing, radiography, sonography, dental, hygiene, those types of programs. Now, the
Hmm.
health sciences programs, just as a caveat warning to those students out there interested in those, there are several prerequisites that students usually have to take before they can actually get into those programs. So they usually have to start off with kind of like a prerequisite program first before they can get into like nursing or radiography or dental or something like that.
That makes a lot of sense. And I'm glad you mentioned kind of the special prerequisites and kind of, nursing programs and programs like that tend to be a little bit more competitive. I know a lot of colleges tend to have a wait list for the nursing program. Is that the case at Broward as well? Do you usually get a wait list or?
We don't necessarily get a wait list because we do have the 3 locations, each
Oh,
location
yeah.
has a nursing school. So, but it's just very rigorous to get in. But once you
hmm
get in, we are one of the top nursing programs actually in the country, let alone in South Florida. In fact, about 90% of the nurses in South Florida have come through the Broward College nursing program. So we have a
Wow.
high pass rate on the board exams, and of course, once you graduate, you're going to get that year of OPT, where you can
hmm
work for a year in a hospital or whatever setting as a nurse. And then we also have a bachelor's in nursing program. So after you've done your year of OPT, after getting your associate's degree, you do the bachelor's degree, and then you get another year of OPT.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a great pathway, I think, to take. Lately, we've had a lot of students who are interested in nursing or medical programs and things like that. And this is something that's really important to point out to all of our viewers. If you are interested in nursing, in the United States, nursing starts as that associate's degree program. That's the pathway most nurses take. You do that 2-year program or a little bit longer if you need to get your prerequisites. Then you get to do, you take a test, then you get to do that year of OPT, get work experience, and then you can go back and get your bachelor's. Um, and that's a common misconception. I think a lot of times students may assume you need to get a bachelor's degree first in order to be a nurse, but it's simply not the case. And it's awesome to hear that you guys have one of the top nursing programs in the country. That's incredible.
Yes, we're very proud of that program, as we are of all of our programs, and especially the aviation program and supply chain program. So yeah, we're very proud of all of our programs. And another caveat I'll mention as well, and I like to mention this to students when I'm doing our information systems sessions, I should say. We have several different types of professors that teach at Broward College. So of course, we have our full-time tenured professors who are excellent. But we also have what are called adjunct professors. And we have 2 different types of adjunct professors. One is the adjunct professor who also teaches at other schools in the area. So you'll maybe getting a professor who's teaching, who also teaches at Florida International University or Nova Southeastern University, which is across the street from our central campus, or University of Miami down in Miami, very prestigious private school. So you're getting the same teachers many times as you would if you were going to those much more expensive universities. And of course, you're paying a lot less to get the exact same teacher. And the other type of adjunct professor we have are professors that are actually still working in their field. So you may have an accounting professor who's still working as an accountant, or an engineer professor who's still working as an engineer. So now you're getting real world practical information from your professor as you're taking that class, and not just theory.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I think, again, talking about misconceptions, a lot of times international students don't quite understand a college versus a university. And a lot of times, people think maybe the professors aren't as good or maybe the courses aren't as good. So thank you for stressing that. And one cool thing that I think you guys offer, I mean, you do have the traditional college courses, associate's degree programs, but you do also have those bachelor's degrees.
Yeah.
And remind me, which programs do you offer the bachelor's degree for?
So, in order to get into any of our bachelor's programs, you have to either already have an associate degree or at least 60 qualifying credits from another school, another college or university. So we have the nursing program for those who graduated from our nursing. We have aerospace for sciences for those who graduated from our aviation program. We also have supply chain management. What's the other one? IT, education. It's about 8 of them, so I can't remember all off the top of my head, but yeah, there's about 8
Yeah, sorry, I put you on the spot.
That's all right.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. And you mentioned your proximity to so many other universities like Florida International, Florida Atlantic, Nova Southeastern. So can you tell me a little bit more about those transfer opportunities for students, or the 2+2 opportunities?
Absolutely, sure. Thank you. So for if you're not aware of the college system or the university system in the United States, it's pretty much the same no matter where you go. If you go to four-year school, your first 2 years are going to be primarily your general education courses and the beginning courses of your major. That's your first 60 credits. And then your last 2 years is when you're really concentrating on your major, maybe adding a few in other required courses in there. And so at Broward College and community colleges like ours, you're going to do those same first 2 years, taking those general education courses and the beginning courses of your major at a much lower cost, smaller classes. Usually we have no more than 25 in our classes, as opposed to a university where you might have as many as 100 in the class or more. So smaller classes, a lot less expensive, but you're getting the exact same education. So you're doing those first 2 years of the general education beginning classes of your major, and you're actually going to get a degree. When you go to a four-year school and you finish year two, you simply go from year two to year three. With us, you're actually going to get a degree. So you get that Associate of Arts degree. And don't let the term arts fool you. You have to be in the Associate of Arts program or AA program in order to be able to transfer to a university. So even if you're studying science or engineering, biology, anything like that, you're still going to be in the Associate of Arts program. Okay. So once you have that AA degree, that opens up two doors for you. Again, when you go straight to university, you have to go 4 years before you get 1 year of OPT, optional practical training, which is where you're allowed to apply to the US government to actually work for 1 year under your F1 visa before you return home. And so you're getting work experience in your field. Now, it has to be in your field, right? So if you're an accounting major, you cannot get a job as a waiter. You have to get a job as an accountant, right? So when you go to a community college like Broward College and do the 2+2 plan, since you're getting a degree, you're eligible for a year of OPT after you get that Associate of Arts degree. So if you're an accounting major, you do 2 years, you get the Associate of Arts degree. You do a year of OPT. That means you get to work, learn some information about your field, earn some money, then transfer to university, finish your bachelor's degree, the other 2 years, and then you get another year of OPT because now you've completed a higher degree.
Yeah, and I think this is such a good opportunity, especially for those students who maybe aren't like 100% sure of what they want to do with their life, or they're not 100% decided on what their major is going to be and that kind of thing. The benefit of doing this 2+2 plan, guys, is exactly what Stephen said. You get to do the associate's degree 2 years, knock out your gen ed courses, try some different things, and you'll get to get real work experience in the field that you're pursuing. So that gives you the opportunity while you're still young to get out there in the workforce and decide if you actually like that or not,
Exactly.
And if you do, you can go and, finish your bachelor's degree and do another year of OPT. It's just a wonderful, wonderful opportunity if you aren't 1,000% decided on what you want to do.
Exactly. And not only that, it gives students an opportunity to get admitted to their dream school. Sometimes you don't have the SAT scores you need, or even the grade point average that you need to get into a school like University of Miami or some of these others, University of Florida, some of these top schools. But when you come to Broward College, you basically get to start fresh, because we have articulation agreements with over 30 schools. What an articulation agreement means that if once you finish your Associate of Arts degree and you get accepted to the transfer school, they're required under the agreement to take all of your credits. So you go in as a third-year student and you only have those 2 years left to finish your bachelor's degree. Now, we also have students who apply to schools that we don't have agreements with, and they still do well going to some of those schools as well. So we have students that apply to Ivy League schools like Harvard and Yale. In fact, we had an international student a few years ago. They got a full scholarship to transfer to Brown University, which is an Ivy League school. We have students that go to University of Miami, Nova Southeastern. So the options are endless. So not only are you saving a lot of money by coming to us first before you transfer to university, but of course it also gives you the opportunity to get into your dream school. So maybe you didn't get into Stanford, you didn't get into whatever because of your SAT or ACT scores. You can actually come to Broward without even taking the SAT or the ACT. So you can get in without those scores. And then once you do well in your associate degree, then you can transfer to the school of your choice and hopefully get a scholarship to transfer there as well.
For sure. And this is, for Apply Wave, our slogan is study abroad, smart and simple. And this is a very smart strategy to take if you want to study abroad. We always tell students, reach for the stars. If you want to go to an Ivy League school or a top ranked school, apply. If you, go for it. If that's your goal, of course, try, but you should have a backup plan. and taking a route like studying at Broward College and starting there, it can really give you a leg up.
Yeah,
You might not start your bachelor's degree at that school, but all that matters is where you end it,
exactly.
and I think too, when you're looking at those more competitive institutions, when they don't just look at grades a lot of times, if they only look at grades, it's going to be very, very tight. They look at your experience, they look at your extracurriculars, they look at your resume. So
Mhm.
going this route of doing the 2+2, getting that real work experience to put in with your application packet to get into that better school is definitely going to help your chances. So
Absolutely. And
this is a smart way.
the university loves students who've completed their Associate of Arts degree because students who have an AA degree before coming into university have a higher graduation rate. Right. So
Hmm.
students who go directly into university and try to finish in 4 years, their graduation rate is lower than students who get the Associate of Arts degree first and then transfer. So the universities love Associate of Arts degree students, and that's why there's a lot of transfer scholarships that are available.
Awesome. All right, Stephen. So we're about to wrap up, but we do have a question here from a viewer. When is the deadline to apply to Broward College?
Okay, great question. So we actually have three periods that we enter students. We enter students for the fall, the spring, and the summer. So our fall deadline, let me see, do I have it up here? The fall term runs from mid-August to mid-December, and the deadline for that is July 1st. But we always recommend that if you're coming from outside of the country and you have to get your F1 visa, to apply a month or two earlier than the deadline. So that way you have time to make the appointment at the embassy to get your visa. The deadline that we have listed on our webpage, which is broward.edu/ISSO, um, those deadlines are really more for a transfer students who are already in the country under an F1 visa program and want to transfer to Broward College. So if you want to get your F1 visa for the very first time, your I-20, which is the immigration document you get from us once you've been accepted, and then you use that to make the appointment at the embassy, it's recommended you apply as early as possible. So the fall term again goes from August to December, deadline July 1st. Spring term goes from early January to early May, deadline is November 15th. Summer term, which we're taking applications for now, goes from mid-May to mid-August. It's a little bit of a shorter term, and the deadline for that is March 25th. But again, we're taking applications for the summer right now.
Awesome. Yeah, great advice. You guys get your applications in early. If you want to study this fall, so, August 2022, if that's when you want to start your program at Broward, it's a good time to start applying now, just so you have the time to get your student visa. We all know with the COVID situation around the world right now, sometimes those
Yeah,
visa processes are taking a little bit longer with embassy closures and all that fun stuff that's going on right now. So it's better to plan ahead and give yourself enough time to go through that process.
absolutely.
Um, awesome, Stephen. Well, we are going to wrap up. Before we do, for our viewers right now, if you have any final questions for Stephen, feel free to write them in the comments section and we'll try to answer those. While we wait for any final questions to come in, Stephen, do you have any thoughts for potential international students? Anything you would like to leave them with? Maybe a final, why should you study at Broward College?
Well, I did forget to mention that we are one of the top rated schools in the country. We've been ranked as one of the top 3 community colleges in the country by the Aspen Institute out of Washington, D.C., the prestigious Aspen Institute. And this is the 4th time that we've been ranked in the top 10 of community colleges in the United States. So we got the award in 2021, 2019, 2017, and 13, I believe. So we are a school that definitely has a name and reputation, and will be able to meet your needs, whether you're doing a 2-year Associate of Arts degree that's going to allow you to go directly into your employment, such as in the aviation field or the nursing field, or whether it's the AA program that allows you to do the 2+2 and transfer to university. And international students should know the 2+2 plan is something that a lot of even American students are using. So this is not something that's just geared towards international students, but there are many American students, U.S. citizens and residents that are using that 2+2 plan. In fact, I used to recruit for regular admissions right here in the United States. And I was at a high school many, many years ago talking to students about the 2+2 plan and how they can save money and start with Broward and then go on to university. And the teacher that I was speaking with about fell out of his chair. And he said, "Students, please listen to Mr. Mitchell. I want you to know, when I was in school, I got good grades and I got accepted to Florida State University up in Tallahassee. And I went straight there. I studied hard and I graduated in 4 years. I got my degree, but I also left with a student loan debt of $500 a month. He said I could be driving a Mercedes Benz, but instead I have this student loan debt. He said, meanwhile, my cousin, who graduated high school the exact same year as me, went to Broward College for 2 years, transferred to Florida State University, graduated the exact same time as me with the exact same degree, zero student loans.
Yep.
Your university degree, it doesn't say went to Florida State University or University of Miami, went to Broward College first. It just says Florida State University, University of Florida, Miami.
Exactly.
You have that second degree to put on the wall next to it.
Yep, you get that additional piece of paper there. You're saving money. I mean, it's really such a good option. And you guys, again, when you're studying abroad, you want to be smart about it. So this is definitely a smart choice. If you do want to, save some money, get better grades, or just have a better chance to get into one of those top schools, Broward College is the way to go for sure. So, all right, Stephen. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you to all of our viewers. Yes, and for those of you who are tuning in, if you would like to learn more about Broward College, you can feel free to apply with us on ApplyWave. Let me show you how to find this.
Yes, we love ApplyWave.
Yeah, so we are happy to help you with every piece of the process. So if you want to apply to Broward College, simply go to applywave.com, click on the Associate's Degree tab, and then here where it says, where do you want to study? Simply start typing Broward College. And here you'll see it. You can see what they've highlighted. As Stephen mentioned, they have the ranking. They're inclusive. They have great hospitality, nursing, and aviation programs. And the best part is you can go ahead and apply right here, and you'll have the support of the ApplyWave team.
Yeah.
All right, Stephen. Well, thank you so much for your time. And again, thank you to our viewers, and we will see you next time. Thank you.